Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Okoyemi Godis, and if you're new here, you're welcome. Here is your hug and your kiss. So on this channel, I talk about lifestyle, I talk about marriage and relationships, I talk about nursing and everything fun. If you're an old subscriber, thank you for sticking to this channel. I love you, I appreciate you, I celebrate you, I adore you, I cherish you. Oh gosh, I admire you, I care for you, I care about you. I love you. Oh my goodness. Oh gosh, I love you. Like I'm in love with you. I'm crushing on you. Anyway, guys, I know I look so different today. Yes. Let me just let me check out myself. How do I look? I look beautiful, right? Yeah, as always. So, guys, today we'll be talking about something very, very dear to my heart. This is something I like talking about every time. I like talking about this topic every time, and I just felt, oh, why not just make a video about it? You would reach more people by doing that rather than just speaking to people one-on-one about this. So today, guys, I'll be talking about the first year of marriage problems. Yes, I know that a lot of us have heard that the first year of marriage is just like the hardest and toughest and craziest. And people will tell you that if you can actually survive the first year of marriage, you can actually survive the other years. I mean, people say all sorts about the first year of marriage, and then you're going into marriage with this fear in your heart. You don't know what to expect. Like you don't even know if you're going to like make it through the first year of marriage. Guys, just chill, just calm down. So guys, like I said, we'll be talking about the first year of marriage problems. Yes, I know a lot of us have been through all these kind of challenges in marriage, especially in the first year of marriage, or probably you're even planning to get married, like you're not married yet, but you're in the process of getting married, or you're just engaged, or you're not even in a relationship, you're just single, and you're kind of just inquisitive. You want to know the likely challenges or problems you might face in your first year of marriage. Then this video is for you. So guys, let's just get started. So the very first problem that you can actually face in your first year of marriage is unmet expectations. So I know a lot of us like going into marriage with this kind of expectation in our hearts or in our mind, and we just kind of have those expectations subconsciously. Like we don't get to like verbalize these expectations, so it's not like you would wake up and say, oh, my husband or my wife, you must meet these expectations. No, but low-key we just have these expectations in our minds, and we just feel that, oh, if my partner doesn't like meet these expectations, then he or she is not like good enough and all that. So I want to believe that having expectations in itself is not like a bad idea. No, like it's not like totally wrong to have expectations. It is healthy to have expectations. But when you have like expectations that are like too high, especially for your first year of marriage, where both of you are like just getting to know each other like on a deeper level, regardless of how many years you guys must have dated or courted. See, marriage is like a different ballgame entirely. You get into marriage and you discover a whole lot of new things about your partner. So this is not like the time to have like ambiguous or so many expectations. Of course, you have like basic expectations of your spouse. I mean, I expect my spouse to be faithful, to be trustworthy, to be God-fearing, to be hardworking, to be loving and caring. Yes, those ones are basic. But when you now begin to have like unnecessary expectations, that is where like the problem lies. So the very first problem that people face in marriage is when they don't like have those expectations met. So if I want to like go into marriage thinking, oh, my husband will actually like be bringing breakfast in bed, my wife is going to like be doing the house chores every time, like my husband will be like giving me so much money for upkeep. Or it's just like having all all those weird expectations that we kind of have as human beings. And I'm so sorry to tell you, you'll be disappointed because your husband or your wife is not going to be bringing you breakfast in bed every day. I can assure you, he or she will not, cannot, shall not, will not, isn't going to do that. That's the truth. Like, he or she won't do that because he's human as well. So he's not going to like give you so much money as upkeep or for pocket money every month as you wish he should. Like there are days he will be able to give you so much, there will be days he won't be able to like give you so much. There are days that he would be able to bring you breakfast in bed, and there are days that local man just cannot, he cannot can. So there are like days like that, and you know, the ability to like strike a balance, knowing when to accept, you know, the inadequacies of your spouse is where the maturity lies. Knowing that there are days that will be like good and there are days that will be bad, knowing that there are days that those expectations will be met and there are actually days that none of the expectations will be met. So guys, that's like one of the basic problems I feel people face in their first year of marriage. It's really about expectations, expectations and expectations. Expectations are good and healthy, like I said earlier, but if they're like too ambiguous and just complicated and unnecessary, it can actually lead to problems in marriage. Yeah, so the second problem that people usually face in marriage or people usually have in the first year of marriage is related to money. Like I said earlier, that regardless of the number of years you must have courted your partner or dated your partner before you guys got married, and you just feel like, oh, I know him enough, I know her enough. Marriage will shock you. Like, marriage is going to like shock you. It's going to like, you'll be I don't want to use the word disappointed. I was about saying you'll be disappointed, but I really don't want to use the word disappointed because you shouldn't be like disappointed like that. But I'm just saying you find some things that you really won't like. And when it comes to money, this is like a major thing people face in the first year of marriage because you're new in this kind of environment, you're kind of new in this situation. So when it comes to money matters, especially as human beings, you want to hoard your money, your partner too wants to hoard his money or her money, as the case may be, and you're thinking, oh, I work for my money, I should be able to spend my money as I wish. Your partner is also thinking, oh, I work for my money, I should be able to spend my money the way I wish. No, that's not going to work in marriage. Like, it's never going to work like that in marriage. Marriage is all about shared responsibility, so both of you will have to, spend your money in the marriage. Like, it's not just about you and you and you and you and you alone. There'll be times that your spouse may not be afford to do something and you would have to like come up to the task and then do that particular thing. And there'll be times that especially for husbands, I know that husbands are like meant to like take the bulk of the responsibility in marriage. Wives, there are times that your husband will never have enough to like take up all the responsibilities. There are times that you would be the one to shoulder those responsibilities. There are times that you would share, and there are times that your husband will be able to like do everything all by himself. So you should be flexible enough to be able to accommodate him when he can like do everything, and you should be flexible enough to like know when to step up your game and shoulder those responsibilities. However, just ensure that no one is taking each other for granted and all that. So in case of money, I know that in most marriages a partner is like the spender while the other one is like the saver. For instance, in my own marriage, my husband is like the saver. He can save he can save literally anything. I don't know how he does it, but he saves so much. I also save, but I don't get to save as much as he does. I like good things. So as much as I love to save, I feel because I'd suffered in the past, like, so now that I can afford the good things of life, I usually like feel like I should be able to buy the good things of life that I really want or that I was able to buy for myself when I was like really so much into my education. There was time I was really spending so much money on my education and I just like denied myself of a lot of things. So now that in a place where I can actually spend more money on myself, there are times I literally feel like buying everything. Yeah, like shopping for everything. But my husband on the other hand is all about saving, 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 saving. He's like the saver in the marriage. I'm also a saver, so I won't call myself like the spender, but I don't save as much as he does. So money shouldn't like be a problem. I think the problem lies in the fact that some people don't like get in terms with the fact that they like to spend or they like to save. So if you know your partner's weakness, if you know that for instance your husband is like the spender, he can spend and spend and spend and overspend, then you should like step in and then you should be the one managing the finances of your home. And if it's like the other way around and you are like the spender, then your partner should be like the person managing the funds. So I just believe in the fact that, see, there's no like hard and fast rule about how you should manage money in your marriage, especially in the first year of marriage. But I just believe in communicating your concerns about money and being honest and plain about it, like being truthful about it and knowing your weakness. So if you know that you're not so good with saving money, allow your partner to like manage the funds appropriately. Well, you should be able to trust your partner to do that in the first instance. Like, why get married to someone I can't even trust with money? So money is really a problem, but if you're able to like navigate it in such a way that whoever spends more shouldn't like be in charge of your family finances, like whoever spends by impulse, like whoever buys stuffs by impulse shouldn't like be the one in charge of the finances and all that. So that would like really help, knowing your weakness and your strength. So if I know for instance that, oh, I can't really manage money, I won't even like undo bulk of money, I would allow my partner to like manage the bulk, and then I can just manage the little stuffs and all that. So the next problem that people actually face in marriage, in the first year of marriage, is problems with decision making. So this is like, in fact, in my own situation, this is something that like gave me a lot of headache, gave me a lot of troubles. For instance, I'm the first in my family, I'm the first child. I've been independent all my life. Well, not all my life, but I started working as early as possible. Like, I started having my money, like making my own money so early in life. And I've always been like independent. I've always like paid my bills by myself. I've always like made decisions, for myself. And getting married and now learning to like always speak to your partner before like making a decision, always seeking your partner's opinion. This is not about seeking your partner's permission, because some people get it all wrong, but it's just essential that you seek your partner's opinion about issues in your marriage. That's just the truth. Like, if you want to make any decision, it's just like the right thing to do, to always like seek your partner's opinion about it. Like, what do you think about this? I'm about to take this step. What do you think about, is this the right step to take? Is this the right decision to make? And this is especially very important, especially for men, in the sense that I know a lot of men feel like as the head of the home, they can take all the decisions by themselves without having to consult their wives and all that. But this is just like rubbish. It's just like rubbish. You can't always take decisions all by yourself. You should always like consult your wife, hear her own side of the story. There are times that she would have a better version of what you think, and then even if you end up like making use of her opinion or her own perspective, you should still hear her own perspective. You should still hear her own opinion. You may not make use of it if you wish, but you should still like allow her verbalize her opinion, allow her verbalize how she feels about that project, how she feels about that decision you're about to make, about that step you're about to make. And it cuts across both sides, really. It cuts both sides. Like, it shouldn't be a situation that one particular person is the one making all the decisions and the other person feels left out, feels that he or she is not like involved in decision making in the house and all that. It shouldn't be like that. In my own situation, I really had to like unlearn a lot of things. I had to like come to a realization that, oh, now I'm married, I'm no longer single, and now we're two, and we actually need to always like go through all the information together and then now make a decision together. Like, both of us needs to come to a place where we now agree. So that's where the part of agreement comes into play. Like, both of you will run through, for instance, if you have like a project you want to like go into, or you want to venture into, both of you consider the pros and cons. You sit down, talk about it, and then by the time you discuss about it and dissect the whole issue, you will get to a point where both of you actually agree. Most times you get to a point where you would agree, and even if you end up not agreeing, you can kind of give it some time, and then you come back to the same issue again, talk about it over and over again, and eventually you would discover that you'll be able to agree over that matter. So that's the way it is when it comes to money, when it comes to decision making in marriage. Just to ensure that no party is left out, like both of you are like actively involved in decision making. It might be very difficult at first, considering that both of you have been independent, or you've been all by yourself, making your own money, making your own decisions, and so far so good. You've been able to like make sound decisions for yourself. So it may be a bit difficult at first. Trust me, it may be a bit difficult at first. There are a lot of times in your first year of marriage that you would have taken the decision, and then you remember, oh, I actually didn't tell my husband, actually didn't tell my wife about it. Yes, those instances will like come up where you totally forgot that, oh, you're even married. You would have made the decision by yourself, but then you would definitely continue to grow and learn and unlearn some things anyway. So you keep learning, and then you keep on learning some things at the same time. So if you're able to like manage this properly, you shouldn't have any problem with decision making in marriage, especially in your first year of marriage. So the next problem that people face in their first year of marriage is problems related to habits. Yes, habits in the sense that, because we're just like different. Like, imagine you're getting married to someone that is from a different background, from a different upbringing, and everything is just like different altogether, and you guys are now one. You live in the same space. It's a difficult thing to manage, trust me. You would wake up every day, and then you're seeing a new version of this person. You're seeing some habits that you never knew the person had. Trust me, regardless of the number of years that you guys have dated or you've been in a relationship, in fact, if you guys are there for like 20 years before you go married, I don't care, you will still end up getting into marriage and then now getting to know new things. So you'll be like, how come I never knew that this guy snores? How come I never knew that this woman snores? How come I never knew that this woman does this, or this man does this? So there'll be instances like that in your marriage where you will just get to know about some habits, and you will just go crazy, like, how come I never knew that he or she had this kind of habits? So you might be shocked, you might be disappointed, you might just be like overwhelmed, especially if those habits are like habits that you feel you can't deal with and all that. But this is where maturity comes into play. And this is why I said earlier that you shouldn't have unnecessary expectations about your spouse. Just go into marriage hoping for the best. And then if you go into marriage hoping for the best, even when you find out new things. Now, when I mean new things, I'm not saying horrible things like, oh, you got into marriage and then you now discover that the guy has a child or the lady has a child and you never knew of that. No. I'm not talking about weird things. I'm not talking about strange things. It's not like a situation where you're getting married and your first day of marriage, you now discover that your husband had built a house probably in his village, and then, or she actually built a house without the other person knowing. I'm talking about normal things like habits, like for instance, snoring. I don't know why I'm using snoring as an example, but that's like something that I know a lot of people can relate to. Like, you never slept with each other before getting married. Like, you like never slept in the same space, and you just never knew that he or she like snores, and then you get into marriage and you discover that, oh, this person actually snores like a volcano. Like, when it snores, you think there's a tsunami. So it might be a bit challenging at first, but over time, if you're like able to adjust, both parties will have to adjust. That's the thing about the first year of marriage. The first year of marriage is mostly about adjustments. Both of you would definitely need to you would need to adjust a lot of things. You will need to adjust to the person's schedule. There are times that your partner is like the morning person and you are like the night person. Like, for instance, in my own situation, I'm not a morning person. I hate waking up early, but I'm always like very, very, very active at night. Like, I'm always like at the optimal level of functioning at night. Sometimes I don't sleep until like 3 a.m. But I'm kind of fortunate because my husband is like a night person. He also doesn't like waking up very early in the morning, and then he doesn't sleep early as well. So, but in some people's instances, it's like the opposite. You're like the morning person, your partner is like the night person. Your partner likes to sleep early, you don't like to sleep early, and then but you both want to like go to sleep at the same time. especially the first year of marriage, you guys know how it is. You want to like go to bed at the same time, you want to like do everything at the same time, you want to eat at the same time. So there's just some habits that you just have to adjust to. There's nothing you can do about it. Fine, the other party might try to like blend, and or you two might have to like blend. But there's just some things that you really don't have power over them. There's really nothing you can do. Like, okay, for instance, if this is a typical example, in my own marriage, like, yeah, now this is now about expectations. When I was getting married, I had this in my head that, oh, my husband and I would be eating together. Like, after cooking, I would serve and both of us would eat together at the same time. I think couples who do that a lot, like both of them are eating. In fact, I know couples like will like eat from the same plate. It's different in my marriage. Like, my husband doesn't like hot food, so he will literally like wait till the food is cold before he would eat it. Like, who does that? Who waits for food to get cold before eating? So it's kind of difficult for me because I want to eat my food when it's still hot. So most times we don't end up eating together. At first it was like driving me crazy. I felt, oh, why is it just like awkward? Why is it just like difficult to manage? Why is my husband just like a difficult person altogether? But eventually I just had to understand that this is what he's been doing all his life, and this is what I've been doing all my life. I just need to like understand him, and we just come to a place where we both understand that this is how I do my things and this is how you do it. There are some instances where we kind of adjust a bit. Like, I might have to like wait a bit for his food to like get cold, and there are sometimes that he would eat his food when it's like warm but not hot. And so there are just like instances where we've had to like be flexible and then balance it out. But I'm just saying this because there'll be a lot of habits that you would have to deal with in marriage, especially in the first year of marriage, and you'll be wondering that how come I never knew all those things before getting married. But there's really nothing you can do about it. You're human, the other person too is human, and you just have to adjust and cope with a lot of things. And see, it's not like as dreadful as people present it to be. I can assure you, you'll be able to adjust, you'll be able to cope with a lot of things. Okay, another example I could share is, this is even like something people talk about every time, and I just laugh about it. the I know we've heard this story over and over again about pressing of toothpaste. I'm that person. I don't press toothpaste from the bottom, and it's not something I can help because I've always been doing that all my life. I press toothpaste from the middle. In fact, if you see my toothpaste, it's always looking awkward, like always looking awkward, and I've always been like that. I didn't even know it was wrong until my husband was like, why are you like always pressing toothpaste in an awkward way? But he never like took it like serious. You know the way some people just take some see, choose your battles. You don't have to fight over everything. You don't have to like complain over everything. Most times, in fact, you would even make jest of me like the way you press toothpaste can be very, very awkward. But it's not something that we had to like deal with, and then we had to like talk about. There's nothing to talk about. And then at some point I even felt, wait, let me even try and see if I can actually press toothpaste the way other people actually press it, but I can't. I've tried my best. I would have finished pressing it the awkward way, and then I remember, oh, I said I was even going to try to press it normally. But there's nothing like normally, like your own normal might not be my own normal. So we just need to stop having all those. It still boils down to funny expectations, unnecessary expectations about people. I've tried my best over and over again to press toothpaste the normal way, or what people consider to be normal. I still can't do that. I still can't do it because this is something that I've done for several years, and then you expect me to get married and then automatically just start doing things the normal way. Like, we have different definitions of normal anyway. So I'm just sharing this because in marriage there will be several habits that you will get to know. You'll be wondering, can I really deal with these habits? Yeah, you would actually, I can assure you, you would be able to deal with these habits. I'm not talking about dangerous habits like beating, violence. That one is not even, that one is a vice. It is not an habit, that is a vice. But I'm talking about normal habits that people are used to, and in marriage you might find it like so awkward and all that. So that's that about habits. The last problem that I think that people experience in their very first year of marriage is about intimacy and sex. So I made this the last so that we can actually like elaborate about it and just discuss. So this is a very, very sensitive situation or sensitive topic. I know that some people would say, oh, like, oh, I didn't even get married as a virgin, so I won't have these issues when I get married. You would have this issue when you get married, especially your first year of marriage. Don't be deceived by anybody that, oh, but I've actually experimented. Whether you've experimented, whether you've not experimented, whether you're naive or you know so much, you would have this issue in your first year of marriage. Like, because your preferences will be different. At first it will like be awkward. I think I need to make another video about intimacy and sex in marriage. I would actually I'll make like a video about that, because this is like a broad topic on its own. So in the very first year of marriage, it will really be awkward, like, because this is time you're kind of getting to know your partner's preference and then your own preference. And then for a lot of us, this is even a time like you're really like getting to know what you want when it comes to intimacy and sex, your favorites in all areas relating to intercourse. So for some people, this is when they're just like realizing what they want, how they want it, when they want it, really. So the first of marriage can be very, because you might be like, oh, I want it this way and at this time and in this manner, and your partner is like, no, I want it this way, in this manner, and at this time. So but maturity comes in when you're like able to handle both perspectives about how you want it, what type and what manner, and generally how you just want it. So you should be able to like merge those two preferences and then make sure that you make the best use of both preferences without any party feeling left out or feeling abandoned or feeling like useless. Do you get my point? So guys, those are like the five major problems I feel people face in their very first year of marriage. Like I said at the beginning of this video, this doesn't have to be like your own narrative, and that's why I'm making this video, to like help you, like if you're like planning to get married or you're engaged or you're already married in your first year of marriage or you're even single. This would help you to like prepare ahead and ensure that even though people say that the first year of marriage can be problematic, it can be dramatic, it can be chaotic, it can be crazy and hard and tough, your own will be good, your own will be great, and you'll be able to overcome all the challenges that the first year of marriage brings. So guys, if you've loved this video, if you've enjoyed this video, endeavor to like share, like and subscribe to my video. If you have any comments, so if this is your first year of marriage or you've been married for some years, or if you're planning to get married or you're even single, drop comments. What do you think are like the likely problems that people face in their first year of marriage? If you've overcome that, let me know. If you're in your first year of marriage, drop all the problems that you kind of faced in your first year of marriage, drop them in the comment section. I'll be in the comment section reading all your comments, guys. So guys, thank you for watching, and I would probably do an updated version of this first year of marriage problems with my husband, just to have a masculine view. Is that the right word? Just to have a man's view, yeah, about this topic. So thank you guys for watching. I love and appreciate you. Until next time, bye bye.